Hello everybody and welcome back to Noita. Today I am standing here in the frosty depths right outside of the magical temple because this is where I'm going to be exploring in this video. I showed this back in the original Frosty Depths video, but today I'm going to explore it more thoroughly and I'll show you what exactly is in here. Now, as I've said previously, this area isn't super worth going into, and there's a reason for that. But since I'm more powerful now, I have all the perks. I've gotten past the Temple of Art. Um, I can afford to come in here without losing too much health. But the first thing you'll notice is that it's very dark in here, and it doesn't have the darkness modifier effect, but it does take a long time for the fog of war to light up. It's just more of an annoying thing than it is dangerous. Although there could be uh, things around here you can't see. So you'll notice there is toxic sludge in the walls, and occasionally there will be this toxic mist that shows up, and it'll get toxic sludge all over you. So look out for that. And you'll notice that this area looks very similar to the Temple of Art. It's made of brickwork, and you cannot dig through brickwork with certain items. No, I can dig through this with luminous drill just fine, but some digging spells will not be able to get through it. Now you'll notice there is a severe lack of items in here. Like, we're not saying any wands or any potions. There may be a way to get health in here. Well, actually, there is a way. I know of one way, but like the normal spawning health hearts, um, that's one reason I don't come in here often, because there's really nothing in here to find. Unlike the fungal caverns, which have a ton of stuff. Now, I said there was no wands. There are no wand pedestals. There technically are wands in here, and we'll see that in a minute. But you'll notice my wand is pretty much annihilating these. It's because I'm a lot more powerful than I would be coming into this area earlier in the game. And it's definitely an area designed to backtrack to rather than to go into when you're in the frosty depths. But as always, just make sure you have water in case you get toxic on you. So this area has a lot of the enemies from the Temple of Art. However, they actually are weaker. Because if I was in the Temple of Art, it might actually take me a little while longer to kill them. And that is a worm right there. And of course it helps that I have shields, and if I didn't show you before, these are my wands, and these are my perks over here. Most of the enemies in here, if not all of them, you can actually see in the darkness, which is good. Otherwise, okay. So that's what I was talking about right there. That was a flying wand, and those flying wands can have some really nasty stuff on them. Now this has more black holes, and it has a rotate towards foes, and a speed up. That's good, but I don't want to drop any of these wands right now, so I may come back for that. So you do have to fight to get the wands in this area, since the wands fight for themselves, basically. And looks like we got some friendly enemies over here. So yes, you saw that, the orb room. If you keep going to the left, you'll eventually get there, and I'll go in there in a second. But if you want to, one perk that is recommended for this area, and there's another flying wand right there, is another perk I would say is All-Seeing Eye. All-Seeing Eye will light this place up completely, and you won't have to worry about the darkness. So, here's the orb room, and if you hadn't guessed, there is an orb in the orb room. There's also some water. So you can take this to get the orb and get the extra health as well. And I'll also pick up the tablet. But the orb is the main thing of note in this area. If you don't know already, the orbs are... You need to get to New Game Plus. You need a certain number of orbs. So that's it for this area. Not the end of the video though, because there is another magical temple. I'm going to show you where that is. I've actually already shown that, but I'm actually going to go in there this time. And, I'll see you there. Alright, we are back, and we're over here by this triangle. I showed this in the Temple of Art video. If you go all the way to the right of the Temple of Art, you will eventually end up here in the magical temple. You just have to be able to dig through that. And here we have the second magical temple. Pretty much the same as the first, but it's more extensive. And it serves a little bit more of a purpose than the first one. Now there is not an orb in this area of the magical temple, but if you continue through here, it'll eventually lead to other areas. Like I believe it's called the Wizard's Den is one area that it leads to. I've only been there a couple times ever, really. It's one of the late game areas for sure. But that area does have wands, so even though there's not much in here, you can keep finding more. But I just wanted to show you the enemies in here. There are some of the enemies that are in the Temple of Art, but most of the enemies are actually weaker, similar to how in the second Fungal Caverns, the enemies in there are weaker than the jungle. So anyways, I'm not going to explore this whole thing. I just wanted to show you that this is here. You can come explore this if you've gotten a pretty late game run and you're looking for places to find more. You can keep traveling this way. And just make sure your wand is good enough DPS to fight through these, and then it'd be good.